from Fairview Garden Center. Today we're going to talk about small trees for smaller landscapes. So all the trees that I mentioned are generally going to stay 20 feet or below. Right now we're standing in an area of dogwoods and redbuds. These like morning sun, and their foliage is going to look better if we have afternoon shade. So starting over here on our far side here, we do have dogwoods, and we do try to carry natives and the Kusa Asian dogwoods. The difference mainly being that the Kusas, they're going to bloom more like in May with the foliage on the tree. The blooms will look the same. They could take a little more sun. They're more disease resistant. But we do carry the natives as well, which bloom first thing in the spring without leaves on them. Then we're moving up to redbud trees. We try to carry a large variety of redbuds. We're going to carry the weeping varieties as well, which of course stay smaller. And then we're going to go up to all kinds. We've got Carolina Sweetheart, pink pom-poms. Right behind me we've got Flamethrower, which is very popular right now. But these are not real big trees. But again, like I said, best foliage is going to come with enough sun in the morning, but then some shade in the afternoon, like I like. Another option that you could go with a shorter conifer. Again, you're going to get some evergreen if you do this. I do like this fern spray false cypress. It tops out at 8 to 10 feet, and it's a fairly narrow tree or a conifer, around 3 to 4 feet wide, but it's got some nice flow. It's not a really tight tree. So if the wind's moving, it's going to give you some movement, but again, you're going to keep your color. It looks very nice against a brick home. It's going to stand out, or a white. That'll just be a little structure for you. Another option, if you like yellows, we've got the Crepe conifer back there. Again, probably about the same size when it's fully grown, and again, some movement versus a tight structure. If you like the tight structure, more formal, emerald green is very popular. I'm sure you've seen it. That one is more of a 10 to 12 foot by maybe a 4 foot. And that's going to give you a more formal look if that's what you like. So there are options in conifers as well. A common misconception that some people think is that you can't do crepe myrtles because they get so big. Well, there's lots of options that you can go with. This series here, Miss Francis, this one is a red bloomer. It only gets 12 to 15 feet tall. So that's kind of a moderate tree, and that certainly is something that's not going to outgrow your house. Miss Sandra is a sister to this that has purple blooms. Those would be lovely things. And then you're not going to be faced in a few years with doing that ugly topping off that we really don't suggest you do. We just think get one that's going to give you pretty blooms in full sun, and it's going to be a nice size next to your house. A lot of yards today are not as big as they used to be, so we want to try to choose something that you can use as an accent or maybe a specimen. Or also you want to think about when it's fully grown that it's not going to be out of proportion to the size of your house. So we're going to give you some options. One that's very popular is Japanese maples. These are generally small trees to begin with, usually not topping out over 20 feet. So we have lots of options here, from your kind of cascading or your weeping ones. And they do like morning sun and afternoon shade. Their foliage will look much better if you can give them that versus a full sun area. But we also have upright trees. I will say they do have the ones that would come out with the reddish purple color. They do tend to green up in the summer, so I wouldn't worry about that. That's just common. And then your new foliage in the fall turns out to be that red purple color again. Another popular one we have on the end is the coral bark maple. That's going to give you several seasons of interest. In the cold weather, the trunk and the branches turn a bright red color. The leaf fall color is going to be a bright yellow. So that's just a very nice tree to have on the corner of your house. And it's going to give you a big pop in the fall, and then you're going to have winter interest as well. If you have a lot of shade, especially afternoon shade, you can always go with the tree-form Camellia. You're going to get some really pretty blooms on this. Camellias keep their foliage, so it's an evergreen. You're going to have, with a japonica type camellia, blooms more in your February through April time period. You can get sasanquas, which will be more of the fall blooming one. But this is certainly an option to get one that's tree formed, and that would be really pretty. It is not going to get too big. There are other tree form that are usually shrubs, but that have been trained to do. If you have a sunny area, there's lots of limelight tree form. That would be really pretty in a sunny area. And again, you're still going to stay a step down, but you're going to get some blooms in the summertime. You can also do a tree form loropetalum tree, and that's going to give you a purple reddish color and pink fringy flowers. That's a pretty option to have if you have more sunny area. So those are some very unique specimen type trees if you're looking for something like that. Finally, if you're wanting an evergreen option, you can do the magnolias. We're just not going to do the big backyard ones that are so pretty, but we could do a scaled down version. We have here Little Jim, Teddy Bear, Cape Harris. These all give you that beautiful big shiny leaf. The under is usually a pretty brown color. You're still going to get the very nicely scented big white blooms that everybody knows, but it's again going to be a 15 to 20 foot tall tree, maybe 10 to 12 feet wide. So it's certainly something, if you've been dying to have that magnolia, you can do it in your small yard and it will still work out fine. So thank you for watching this video. We do have lots of options. All the things I've talked about, I do try to keep in stock. We would love for you to come see them in person and see all the things that you can choose from.